Morning, everybody. Looks like I have a chicken out. Let's go over here and see if we can. Come on, Mama. Okay, so I finally caught the chicken and put it back with the group of girls. And you see this white? My husband thinks that's a rooster too. I don't know what y'all think, but it's the biggest. It's the same size as the other rooster, but I didn't order roosters, I ordered hens. So this is interesting. I have 2 roosters in my flock, but Bill thinks that's a rooster too. I have a girl name for it though. That's so funny. Anyway, they're all back together. And we've treated the pond several times, just nothing's really getting better on it. And I think it's just because of all the vegetation. So we're going to look into getting, on his channel, somebody suggested him to get some type of carp. We're going to look into getting those, see if they're available here in Arkansas. So, let's see, I'll pan over here. Chicken house, still not done. Really all we have left is a couple of the roof trusses left to put on, and the metal and the sides. And my husband assures me that this weekend is the last time he's going to work on it. So we'll see if that gets done. Today's Friday, so I'll let y'all know what happens. My garden is still producing lots of pumpkins. Still lots of weeds. But I've got lots of tomatoes I've pulled off of it. I've given a lot away. And the ones that have been eaten by bugs, I give to the chickens. And I have a ton of strawberries. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to clean out that section of pumpkins, and we're going to mow all this and get all the vines cleaned up, and I'm going to clean all that out and plant my strawberries because they're so jammed together they're not blooming. So and I've got still pumpkins, as you can see. There's a large one right there. I've got them in other areas too, but they're still really producing. I really don't want to mess them up. But once these are ripe, I'm going to cut all this vine back, and we're going to get all this cleaned up and thin it out a little bit so it can finish its season through August and the first part of September. So I have some other big kind of news. We are going to be changing the aesthetics of our property pretty dramatically. I guess we're going to turn this cabin into a farmhouse, and we're going to start from the outside. Bill and I have taken a year to do some planning and kind of figure out what we want to do and how we want things to look. But I'll show you on some areas. If you can see on the shop where I want to turn this into my workshop, we've got some patchwork, air conditioners, and you know, it's just, I'll bring you up close. The siding is super bad, and this is also the well house. Our well pump is in here, which we're going to try and cover, but I'm gonna get close so you can see the siding is really bad, and it's not going to improve with time. It's just going to get worse. And my original idea was, hey, let's take all this off and cover it with metal, and that really wouldn't truly increase the value in this place. So we've made a big decision. In fact, we signed the contracts last night, and this is where our propane comes in from the propane tank there for this little shop. which I want to tap off and get rid of. I don't really want propane, but it is a good backup system. And we're going to get all these beds cleaned out, but this siding over here is in just super bad shape. But as you can tell, the back side of the cabin, we had to do some patchwork on the roof because even the roof has this little sag on it. So what we're going to do is we've hired a company to come in, and we're going to replace all the shutters, all the windows, and they're going to tear this place down to the studs on the outside, and we're going to have new siding put up. And it's going to change really the way this property looks, because it's going to be a super light color. I'm going to go with a super light, just really an off tinge of brown, and it's called wicker. So it's between a beige and a brown. And we're going to leave the red roof, and we're going to get all that cleaned off and washed off. They're going to put on cranberry shutters on all the windows that you see the shutters on. And then the stonework's going to stay. So all of this old siding, and we know we have a homemade house, so we're not sure what we're going to find. I'm going to do some videoing while the guys are here ripping it off, but this is going to help with, you know, keeping the bugs out and the mice out, because right now, you know, they have full access up in the eaves up there. They come in, they just crawl up and get all up in there. And then we're going to do all the trim work on the roof. All the gutters are going to be put on. We're going to have a gutter system put on. And so they're going to be pulling all of this off. As you can see, I mean, it's just they've just done a lot of really horrible caulking. And we're doing what we can to keep the bugs out. But every single window in this place is broken. You can't slide them open. You can't, I mean, it's a fire hazard for us to even live here because, you know, you couldn't get out of this window. If you had to, you'd have to bust it out. Fireplace stays the same. And they're not going to replace the railings and the post. Bill and I are going to have to do that. But this is going to have white trim, a wicker siding, and cranberry shutters, and we're going to turn this place into a really beautiful farmhouse instead of because we found out that this isn't really a cedar cabin. There's very little cedar, and if there is any cedar, it's on the inside of the house. It's not on the outside of the house. So I mean, I can sit here and watch the wasp go through the siding and try to access the house. All of the wood on the top, the overhangs are coming off. All that's going to be guttered. And, you know, this is going to cost thousands of dollars. But Bill and I have the money, and we really want to invest in this and make this look like a show place. And we're going to live here the rest of our life. For sure, Bill is. And you know, we just want it to look really nice, and our families to have this to be a relaxing place and not look like a next project needs to happen. So anyway, you're gonna see a bunch of enormous changes around here. Now the caveat is we're not going to do this garage because the garage has a lot of rotten wood on this side of it. It's sagging over here on the hay barn side, and we need to clean all of this junk out of here. And I think this whole roof line right here needs to be replaced. We need a new garage door, and this would have gutters on it as well. And I believe they quoted us like $8,000 more to do this entire thing. And that's not including replacing the wood, etc. That's rotten on it. It does not have windows, and we need to put windows in it. So we're going to wait until next year to do this one. It'll probably happen in the springtime. But that will give us time to really evaluate what wood needs to be replaced, because Bill would like to salvage this garage. And then the garage would match the house. But for right now, we're just going to do the house and the shop and the siding and everything. And then this is a bigger, this thing is like 24 by 40. It's huge. And I'm probably misquoting, but it's really big, and it's almost the same size as our house. So we're actually, you know, it would be a duplication of that, except for it's not 2-story. So anyway, this would also mean that we're not going to, at this point, we're going to settle the property line on this side over here, but we're probably not going to be as aggressive as we were, just because our money's going to be tied up in this place. And I think it's a better, and this tree is going to come down too, just because it attributes to so many bugs right here around the house. And it's an angel oak, and there's an angel oak right here in its place, which really, you know, brings us more shade than the one sitting next to it, believe it or not. We did fix the road so the hunters can't come up in the driveway. There's an access point down there, and we come up through here now. And so they would have to be deliberate about coming in our yard. So just by moving it over a few feet, as I suggested, it really helps, because now there's no possible way for them to roll up in our yard. So they have put, let me show y'all. They have put, do you see the white reflector things? They've put that there for them to access their road that goes back to that property they're leasing. And it used to, they would come through here. They would drive through this driveway and this way. They have no easement, no right to do so, but they were doing that. And even, you know, had even attempted to roll over my husband with their cars or trucks. So we fixed this issue right here where, and if you didn't see the construction of all this happening, it's on my husband's channel. So we fixed this part of the issue, and it's really, so far it's helped. Hunting season's not even started till October, but they're already coming up here because they're prepping. And this place is so jam-packed full of wildlife that, you know, the hunters are not going to come up here. So this, with the entrance being right here, it'll be a main entrance. And long term, let's just say our 10-year plan or 5-year plan is to take this porch and wrap it around and build a master suite and additional bedroom on the back side of this, and wrap the porch around, so that this becomes the front of the house. And where that window is right there, where that's our bedroom window now, will become the entrance, the front door and the entrance to the house at some point. And this would become the back of the house. So that's long-term plan, not short-term plan. We're going to get this in place and breathe a little while for a few years and really settle in, and then get the garage done. And then we're going to work on, that way we can hire an architect, it can be done properly, and turning this into, it's a 2-2 now, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. If we turn this into a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, it almost comes close to doubling the value of this place. So it's a great investment, and we're gonna work on that. That's gonna be a goal for us. Obviously, we want, when people come up here, we don't want them to have to get hotels. And I only have so much bathroom and so much bedroom, you know, and it is small in there and dark in there. So I really want to figure out a way to put, you know, skylights and things in there to lighten up the place on the inside. And anyway, we have big plans. It's going to start happening. They told us the last week of September is when the crew would show up, and the windows will be done in a day and a half, and the siding, it takes about a week. But we're going to be obviously we've told him we're going to be video. Bill's probably even going to get out his drone and video some of what they're doing. So stay tuned. We have a lot of changes coming. I'm going to be expanding the garden. The chicken house is going to be completed. We've got all of our electric fencing, all of our solar stuff done. We just haven't started that process of moving them, but we are going to be moving the birds. And the goose is getting extremely aggressive. We're going to work with him and see what we can do to tame him down. I'm not going to get a female, so anybody suggesting that, that's not going to happen. I don't want a bunch of baby goslings rolling around here. I'm not in the duck business. I mainly got these for entertainment in the pond, and that's not happened. So I really, really wish I would have put off ducks and a goose until we had some sort of a semblance of what was going to happen in that pond. We've got a snapping turtle in there and a couple snakes we can't seem to wrangle, but I'm really hoping that this goose is going to be able to stay around with us. But if he gets much more aggressive, you know, Bill's able to handle him, and I know he's a male already, so but I won't be in fear of an animal, so we're going to have to figure out a solution for him. And my last choice would be, you know, that he go to the freezer. That's my very last resort, because he deserves a chance. He is not trained and he doesn't know. And animals can be worked with. I'm just not a professional at it. So we're going to give him every chance in the world, but I don't want him killing chickens or ducks and having his testosterone shoot up and him getting super aggressive and start killing other animals. I won't have it. Anyway, I'm completely optimistic. I hope that we can do that. Obviously, you know, it's very quiet unless you walk up on him. He is doing a fabulous guard goose. He's doing a great job, but he can't be aggressive towards his handlers. It just won't work. So anyway, stay tuned, and we will see you guys on the next video. Everybody have a blessed day. Find somebody to bless.